Param Vijayate Sri Kṛṣṇa Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Oh my gosh.
It's the lo-fi version today from bed. What is it? It's 10:30. At our new place. I need to get non-reflecting glasses. My name is Sitapati Danna.
And I am Danna Devi.
And this is Bhagavad-gita 4. Bhagavad-gita, the Song of God, as it is by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text number 25. Here we go. Daivam evāpare yajñam yoginaḥ paryupāsate brahmāgnāv apare yajñam yajñenaivopajuhvati. All one word. Daivam.
And worshiping the demigods
Eva.
Like this.
Apare.
Some.
Yajñam.
Sacrifices.
Yoginaḥ.
The mystic.
Paryupāsate.
Worship perfectly.
Brahma.
The absolute truth.
Agnau.
In the fire of.
Apare.
Others.
Yajñam.
Sacrifice.
Yajñena.
By sacrifice.
Eva.
Thus.
Upajuhvati.
Worship.
Translation. It's one big text there.
Okay. Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some of them offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman.
Okay.
Brahman.
Brahman. As described above, a person engaged in discharging duties in Kṛṣṇa consciousness is also called a perfect yogi or a first-class mystic. But there are others also who perform similar sacrifices in the worship of demigods, and still others who sacrifice to the Supreme Brahman or the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. So there are different kinds of sacrifices in terms of different categories. Such different categories of sacrifice by different types of performers only superficially demark varieties of sacrifice. Factual sacrifice means to satisfy the Supreme Lord, Viṣṇu, who is also known as Yajña. All the different varieties of sacrifice can be placed within two primary divisions, namely sacrifice of worldly possessions and sacrifice in pursuit of transcendental knowledge. Those who are in Kṛṣṇa consciousness sacrifice all material possessions for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, while others, who want some temporary material happiness, sacrifice their material possessions to satisfy demigods such as Indra, the sun god, etc. And others, who are impersonalists, sacrifice their identity by merging into the existence of impersonal Brahman. The demigods are powerful living entities appointed by the Supreme Lord for the maintenance and supervision of all material functions like the heating, watering, and lighting of the universe. Those who are interested in material benefits worship the demigods by various sacrifices according to the Vedic rituals. They are called bahv-īśvara-vādī. Bahu means many. Or believers in many gods. But others, who worship the impersonal feature of the absolute truth and regard the forms of the demigods as temporary, sacrifice their individual selves in the supreme fire, and thus end their individual existences by merging into the existence of the Supreme.
Such impersonalists spend their time in philosophical speculations to understand the transcendental nature of the Supreme. In other words, the future workers sacrifice the material possessions for material enjoyment, whereas the impersonalist sacrifice his material designations with a view to merging into the existence of the Supreme. For the impersonalist, the fire altar of sacrifice is the Supreme Brahman, and the offering is the self consumed by the fire being consumed. Wow. By the fire of Brahma. The Krishna conscious person, like Arjuna, however, sacrificed everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, and thus all his material possessions as well as his own self, everything sacrificed for Krishna. Thus, he is the first-class yogi, but he does not lose his individual existence.
Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yehina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Let's have a look at the defs. Nothing in the verse. Gata Sangasya, so asya at the end of something means of, genitive case. Genitive, dative. Muktasya, of the liberated. Chetasaha, whose wisdom versus of such wisdom. So look at what Srila Prabhupada wrote. It's a different verse. Which verse are we doing?
24.
No, we're doing 25.
What?
Daivam evam apare. Yep.
No, daivam,
Yajñam.
yeah.
Daivam, in the matter of worshipping the demigods. Okay, I'm looking at 24 here, that's why. 23. What?
Yeah, I was like
25, here we go. Yoginaḥ, the mystics. Srila Prabhupada put the mystics. Apare, some others. Some. Okay. Brahma, of the absolute truth. In the absolute truth. Okay. Agnau, in the fire. Of. Srila Prabhupada put in the fire of. Upajuhvati, change from worship to offer. Srila Prabhupada put worship.
Well, I guess it starts this language, you see.
I don't think this is a good idea to go back and change these word for word things. And their argument is that they're making it closer to Srila Prabhupada, but they're not. They're taking it further away. It's a lie. Better than Prabhupada.
Never.
Who is known as Yajña. So this change of factual sacrifice to factually, comma, or factually, no comma, there should be a comma. Factually sacrifice means to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada wrote, factual sacrifice. Bhagavad-gita 425. So changing it from factual to factually, which was done after 1983, takes it further away from what Srila Prabhupada wrote, and it's grammatically incorrect as well. Let's have a look at what it looks like now.
Some yogis.
Factually sacrifice. This is dumb. Hang on a second, honey. I'm going to have to use two hands for this. Let's have a look. What am I doing in this chat here? Yeah, okay. Please evaluate. Now I say that it should have it needs to have a comma, yeah, after factually. Here's a breakdown. Okay, so you missed a word in your analysis, but let me learn something from here first. Infinitive phrase acting as predicate nominative. Okay. Relative clause modifying Viṣṇu. Yep. So, okay, it's a relative, not subordinate. Linking verb means subject. Sacrifice linking verb. Okay, subject and predicate nominative. Okay. You missed a word in your analysis. You're right, I missed. Yeah, factually. I missed factually. Adverb. A positive Viṣṇu. Yeah, okay, a positive. Relative clause. Yeah. Now, when I read it, it looks to me as if it requires comma after it. Is it just me?
You're having a nice conversation with GPT.
Okay, hang on. The use of adverbs at the beginning of a sentence often leads to questions about whether or not to use a comma. The inclusion or omission of a comma after an initial adverb can influence the rhythm and emphasis of a sentence. In the case of the adverb factual at the beginning of your sentence, okay, the original sentence without the comma is also grammatically correct. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Stylistic, not grammatical. Let's do this. Let's examine here. Factually. Let's have a look for the phrase factually. See if you have a look here. Look at this. Factually. Factually. What have you done? Factually. You want to speak factually? I want to see factually at the beginning of a sentence. It's not a word that's very used.
No.
So let's have a look for it in the Bhagavad Purana, because factually remembered. Yep, factually. Okay, so here it is used again. Okay, two other uses. Okay, so it's all done. Okay. Be interesting to compare it with first edition, but anyway. Factually. What does factually mean? Something being based on facts or being of the nature of a fact in a manner that is consistent with or supported by actual information or data. Factually true, it's objective. Okay. Anyone watching, commenting? Nope. Okay.
It's sleeping.
Yeah, I know it's later. Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods, and some of them offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman. It's interesting here that he says, Srila Prabhupada talks about the demigods and the impersonalists.
Oh. The impersonalists are losing their
Identity?
Their
individual existence.
Individual existence.
Yeah.
What's another one? They're
Shot.
no. Anyways, okay.
Impersonalists sacrifice their identity
Yeah, sacrifice their identity.
by merging into the existence of impersonal Brahman.
Yeah. Their identity. Like, wow.
There's a really good series of lectures that Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya put me onto. And they are about Mayavad philosophy. Ravindra Swarup Das.
Is he a Mayavadi himself, or a
No,
devotee
no.
talking about?
He's a devotee talking about preaching against Mayavad. And then Patita Pavana posted the other day about seminar on defeating Mayavad. There it is. This will be very interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
And then he sent about the journey home, which is Mayavad, he reckons, according to the book he posted.
Journey Home.
Yeah, by Radhanath Swami.
Oh, it's one of those.
Autobiography.
Yeah. There's no about Radhanath.
Yeah, but it's like, lots of like spending time with impersonalists. As such, impersonalists spend their time in philosophical speculation to understand the transcendental nature of the Supreme. In other words, the fruit of work is sacrifice their material possessions for material enjoyment.
How is that? The fruit of workers sacrifice their material possessions for material enjoyment. I can understand that. Like gamblers.
Well, no, what this is referring to here is this. Yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them. So it means paying Rudra Center to do a yajña to get some material thing.
That's the demigods, it says. The demigods offer some sacrifices to it.
Oh,
no, what's that? The sages or the saintly?
Yeah.
Offers their.
Yeah. Okay. So no. Yeah. I mean, in Bali, people worship the demigods.
Yeah, but he says some yogis
Yeah.
worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one he says about.
So no, these are. But okay, he's calling them fruit of workers.
Yeah. The other one is what is the fruit of workers? The fruit of workers sacrifice their material possessions for material enjoyment. Like one of the examples would be like people that work really hard and they gamble.
They don't even gamble; they just work hard and pay their mortgage.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
But they're not sacrificing their material possessions.
Well, they're sacrificing. Like, let's say.
No.
Aren't they gamblers sacrificing the material possessions, their money, their house?
No.
They lose that.
No, they're not. No, because look here, those who are interested in material benefits worship the demigods by various sacrifices according to the Vedic rituals.
Yeah, what does that have to do with them?
Because the demigods are powerful living entities appointed by the Supreme Lord for the maintenance and supervision of all material functions like the heating, watering, and lighting of the universe. Those who are interested in material benefits worship the demigods by various sacrifices according to the Vedic rituals. That's what this is.
Okay.
In other words, the fruit of workers sacrifice their material possessions for material enjoyment.
Yeah, they're talking about sacrifice.
Yeah, but what it means is worshipping the demigods by various sacrifices according to Vedic rituals, not just simply doing like fruitive activity, but actually performing the sacrifices.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is this example that Srila Prabhupada gives. When I read that, what comes in my mind is this example, like something. What do you call this one? Factual.
Factually.
Contemporary example. Let's say.
Yeah.
I'm giving a contemporary example
of people doing it without reference to the demigods.
Obviously.
That is still different though, because
they're completely different, but the example brings
to mind,
up to mind
because
about something.
What
happens right now?
Well, because Kṛṣṇa will say this in this, I believe it's in the same verse, same chapter. The devotees are protected from all types of sin because they eat food which is offered first for No, where is that verse that says, but those who...
Sinful sinners?
The devotees are protected.
Without sacrifice, one can never live happily.
In this life or in the next.
Oh, very strong one. Sacrifice.
Devotees are protected from sinful reactions because they eat first, which is often food, which is this. Oh man.
It's almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah, just to quickly do the search here. And then we'll move on. Database.io. I have a hypothesis that database.io search is better. I go like this, put this in here, search. And I can easily go to filter by hierarchy. Where is it? It's a famous verse that the offered first sacrifice. Well, I guess this would be the eat only sin.
Oh.
Full text results. See, there's no way for me to say only give me results from Bhagavad-gita on this one. Whereas here I can go hierarchy Bhagavad-gita is already selected, and if I say eat only sin, bam, it's in chapter 3. See how fast it was to find it in here? The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. So this is in chapter 3. Because it's talking here about, well, it's talking about yajña. See here, in charge of the various necessities of life, which is what Srila Prabhupada's pointing to here, where he says the demigods are, come on, this is what made me really, first of all, think of this. The demigods are watering. The demigods are powerful living entities appointed by the Supreme Lord for the maintenance and supervision of all material functions like the heating, watering, and lighting of the universe, in charge of the various necessities of life. The demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajña, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So in this verse, it's talking about those who worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them. But the person that you're describing is this type of the modern contemporary fruitive worker, who is someone who is sacrificing material possessions for material enjoyment. They're not really sacrificing material possessions for material enjoyment, though. They're simply trying to exploit.
Yeah, this is a different type of example of sacrifices people are doing. The hard work they're sacrificing to enjoy, but actually at the end they lose it.
But what are they sacrificing?
What they're sacrificing? Their possessions, what they have. Look at that. In other words, the fruitive worker sacrifices the material possessions for material enjoyment.
Yeah, that means you put your like gold and stuff into the fire. That's what it means, literally.
They're not doing a yajña though.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not doing a yajña, but it's another type of sacrifice. You hard work, you just throw it in the toilet, basically.
Yeah, it's not
a good sacrifice. That is just like the most.
It's actually not sacrifice at all.
Well, it says sacrifice there.
Yeah.
It says there. So I won't agree with that.
What is the meaning of yajña? Word yajña, often is a Sanskrit term, several interrelated meanings. Ritual sacrifice, ceremonies where offerings such as grains, milk, and ghee were made into a sacred fire to appease deities, speaking blessings, symbolic representation, cosmic order. deity, name or epithet for Lord Viṣṇu. Yeah, okay, so let's go to translate Gita Maori. 5:24-25. Let's train another ChatGPT session.
Why don't you put in a meaning of sacrifice?
Hmm?
Why don't you put in a meaning of sacrifice?
Okay, hang on, after we do this.
Etahi.
Etapu. Sacred.
Aka. Aka.
Ake.
Do you remember that?
Yep. Etapu ana etahi. Yogīs. Kina atua ma te whakahire I etahi. Whakahire rereke ki aratau. Aka whakahire etahi. I nā whakahire ki te ahi o te Brahman. Some yogis worship the gods by offering different offerings to them, and others offer offerings to the fire of Brahman. Wow, nailed it. That's good.
That's a good translation there.
Etapu, worship. Ana, etahi, some yogis. Ki tu na atua. Ma te whakahire. I etahi whakahire rereke. Ki aratau. Aka. What? Some. Okay. Some yogis worship to the demigods by offering sacrifices. In some sacrifices, different, varied too. To them. And some will offer sacrifices into the fire of the Brahman. Great translation.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so
sacrifice means giving up as well.
Yeah, that's meaning number 2, but meaning number
offer.
1. Yeah.
Means an act of slaughtering an animal or person or surrendering.
Well, that's meaning 1, right?
1. And the noun. That's in the noun.
So here you go. Look, so you got like religious ritual was number 1 here. Religious ritual sacrifice here. Ritual sacrifice. Here you go. So yeah, there's 2 different meanings. One is religious ritual, and then personal loss of forfeiture. Giving up something valued for the sake of something else.
Yeah, that's what it's.
Selflessness here is kind of like relates to this symbolic representation.
What do they say selflessness?
So yeah.
Go to the area of selflessness. It's a broader sense of risk.
So yeah, what's happening here is that the word sacrifice in the verse, right here, sacrifice, that word there is being used in this sense here. Religious ritual sacrifice.
I think they're using more into the personal loss. No, it's a religious. The other one, the demigods, is more about religious thing, but this one is more about personal loss.
Well, here, honey, have a look. In other words, right? In other words, the fruitive workers sacrifice their material possessions for material enjoyment. That's this part here. Whereas the impersonalist sacrifices his material designations with a view to merging into the existence of the Supreme. And that's the second part here. Yeah, you could. Yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could draw the parallel with the people just working and everything today, but this riff in the 3rd chapter really just like, they're not in the See, those people who are described here in the 4th chapter in this first part are these people here. Those who, offering them to the demigods. These people they're not fruitive workers, really. They're just thieves. Thieves.
Take.
Yeah, because they don't acknowledge the proprietorship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Mm-hmm.
Some impersonalists spend their time in philosophical speculation originally. Some impersonalists sacrifice their time. So here, this word sacrifice is being used in the sense that you're using it.
Yeah, give up. Give other time.
Yeah.
Anything that you give
Mhm.
is a sacrifice. You give up your time, selflessness. You put people's interests on top of yours. It's a sacrifice, isn't it?
Yep, and then sacrifice. Srila Prabhupada wrote sacrifice in here. And
well, I guess sacrifice has different meanings. Not only one, not only religion, rituals.
Yeah.
But I mean that
spend.
Spend
Yeah.
or give
So,
up.
well, he changed it to spend their time. The first edition editor did spend their time, which is what you were saying, because you say, oh, people they sacrifice, but really what they're doing is they're spending it there rather than sacrificing it. Sacrifice their material possession for material enjoyment, like.
Yeah, the other synonym for sacrifice like a giving up.
Yeah.
Their hard work.
Or exchanging, right?
They're giving up.
Or exchanging.
Exchanging, you're having something almost in the same value.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's exchanging. I can exchange something with you that has similar value.
Good evening, Michael. Michael M.
Who is it? Hola. Hola, Michael. Oopsies. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody stay. Tranquila.
Okay, we covered everything pretty much. Let's go
Take
back to
away.
the verse and go to sleep.
I'm tired.
Daivam evāpare yajñam yoginaḥ paryupāsate brahmāgnāv apare yajñam yajñenaivopajuhvati.
Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some of them offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman.
Jai. Param Vijayate Sri Kṛṣṇa Sankirtanam. Total world victory of Hare Kṛṣṇa. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thanks for tuning in.
Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa. Jai Shri
Haribol.
Prabhupada. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Good night.